What's going on, everybody? Poem here with Late Night Gaming, and I've got a video here for you guys where I'm going to be going through, showing you some of the decks I made for our upcoming sealed tournament. Late Night Gaming was actually given a box of Shadows of the Galaxy, courtesy of FFG, um, with the hopes that we would uh, have a sealed pre-release tournament prior to pre-releases, just to kind of build the hype for the game for the Set 2 launch. And unfortunately, I did all the pack polls and deck builds, and I was doing them with like my kids and stuff. They were helping me, and the recording just a space bar got hit or something happened. We didn't quite get that recording done properly. So unfortunately, you won't see me cracking these packs, but I can kind of go through and just show you some of the cards I pulled. I built two decks. I haven't decided which one I'm going to play. I want to kind of like play around with them a little bit first to see which one I like better. Um, there are some stakes for this tournament, so it sounds like we're planning on having the press kit that we got from FFG be like our prizing for this tournament. So the team members, based on how we do in the tournament, will be able to select from that press kit the different items, and there's like play mats and all this kind of stuff. So there's an incentive to try to play good. So I wanted to show you real quick the cards that were out of the aspects of that and the ones I didn't use. And obviously I haven't locked this in yet, so I could still pivot to this if neither of these decks work out after I test them a little bit. So some of the leaders I pulled that I didn't use, I pulled two Hondos, a Fennec Shand, and a Jabba the Hutt. I think Hondo's going to be a little bit weird here without having like the full smuggle package, so I'm not sure how good he is in limited. And then Fennec Shand, I think she's just like, there's nothing wrong with her. I just think I haven't had enough experience like deck building with her and things like that to really understand how to be most successful with her. So I'm not quite ready to try to sleeve up a deck. And then I thought Jabba would be like one of the ones that maybe I could actually pivot to. Um, Obviously he puts a bounty on something, and I did draw one of those. Um, I drew this guy who's relevant. He is the 3 cost 3/4, so he does care if I have a bounty on a guy on my opponent. It was the reputable hunter. So I did draw him. Um, so there is some kind of reason to have a bounty on my opponent. So that's something to consider there. He easily helps me do that. So um, now as far as other kind of base options I do have, looks like the full complement of colors available: red, green, yellow, and then I have a blue as well. So um, interesting there. One thing I did notice is there was no rare bases, no like rare bases in this set. So, or I didn't pull any. So maybe there aren't any. Oh, starting to. I don't think there are. So it's just that's surprising to me. Um, but some of the other cards I pulled that I'm not using, which I kind of am sad about. So I have a Jabba's Rancor and a Maul. So obviously if I go with the Jabba deck instead, these could be pretty powerful. I have a Client, and then just a couple random things here. Those were kind of the main ones I wanted to show you guys. But there's a fairly robust blue villain package that I don't really have available. The Gauntlet, Sonara um, the Commando squads. I don't know how good they are outside of like Gar Saxon maybe, so I'm not really sure there. Another card I was kind of sad I didn't, or actually two, these two in yellow, Hero, Cartel Turncoat, and Spare the Target. Pretty strong cards. So obviously it'd be nice to maybe figure out how to use those, but wasn't able to kind of fit them into what I had going. Not really too like enthused about any of these other cards. There's a Valiant Assault Ship. It's a 3/4 Saboteur, Heroic Renegade, 2/3 with Grit, a couple, just a random ship. Um, Purple Authority could be interesting, just to kind of like if, they ramp somehow. I'm not sure how much ramp there is. So this guy lets you discard a card from their hand if they have more resources than you. I mean, there's only one card in this set that ramps, so I think so. I'm not really sure about that one. But yeah, that's basically it. Nothing really else was really too powerful. Let me show you the two decks I made. So I have the first one was my son's idea. He really wanted to play with Boba Fett, so he wants me to build this that we can just like play with it too, just for fun. So I have a Boba Fett and a blue base. The Boba Fett gives things that are played with keywords a +1 attack, or if I play a card with a keyword, I give one of my other units, or that unit, a +1 attack for the phase. So I'm incentivized to play things with keywords. Delphi Patrol unit, or Patrol Wing, a 5-cost 4/6. When played, you may attack with this unit. If you have the initiative, it gets +2 for this attack, incentivizing me to go fast. No keyword on there, interestingly, so that's something to consider. Mystic Reflection was probably one of the worst cards in my deck, because I have like no force stuff. But even just like a 1-cost -2, I mean, it's not like the worst thing in the entire world. It's actually kind of bad. I mean, I might even change this card. Got a Discerning Veteran that captures something in a ground unit, so it's a little bit of mitigation there. I don't think it's the worst card in the world in like a limited format. The Outlaw Corona, it's a 3/5. It's got a negative bounty on it that lets them get a resource. But he could probably be kind of hard to kill in limited, so I feel like he's safe to include in the deck. There's Moisture Farmer, is it 1-cost, Restore 2 with a 0/4 stat line. I have I have some upgrades, so like I could play Moisture Farmer and then I could play like Foundling or some upgrade on it to make him less of like a dork and have him actually do something. But I think the Restore is fairly decent considering that I have like you'll see here I have some Sentinel and my Sentinels get buffed by my leader. So I have some survivability. So like playing like a Restore strategy like isn't the worst thing in the world. So I have like some Sentinel like I said there. These are just like turn 1 plays, the Quadrumper and the Y-Wing and Val. Technically, I like this Clone Deserter. He's a he's a 1-cost 2/3 with a Restore 1. That's pretty strong. He does have a negative bounty where they draw, which could be pretty bad and limited to draw them cards. But he's a decent guy. So again, more on the Sentinel thing, I have these Village Protectors, kind of just tanking, surviving, trying to get to my late game where I don't have too much late game. I do have like a Fenrau, which is pretty strong, and then I drew 3 Mandalorian armors. So I feel like this is kind of like my big payoff is like getting to Fenrau, playing one of those for free. And then I have a couple Mandalorians that I can put these on in the early game. The Mandalorian Warrior and the Protector of the Throne. These guys, I have 3 Wookiees. So they could help each other a little bit. Like if I can play the Gentle Giant, then I can play these 2 Wookiee Warriors to draw a card. So I could be like decent. Rose is just like, I have 2 Roses, just a general, well statted, good card. Some of the other upgrades I had, a Foundling and a Grapple Shot, decent cards. These guys have keywords they got to stay in. They have Smuggle, and this guy is Ambush, so Boba likes Ambush and keywords and stuff, so those guys seem fine. And then I was fortunate to get 1 bounty, at least. I mean, this guy's not the best bounty in the world, but it is something. Reputable Hunter will be hard to proc unless I play that price in your head first. And then Timely Intervention. You never know when you need a little bit of extra ambush, especially with the Boba leader. So not like the worst deck in the world. It's not like the biggest, best top end in the whole world either. It doesn't seem like maybe like a tournament winning deck, but we'll have to see how that one tests out and get kind of cheat a little bit and play a couple prep games. The next deck is Catbane Spice Mines. I've got interesting in this deck. So there's a lot of Underworld and a lot of Bounty Hunter, and then there is some payoffs for both. So obviously, Underworld's payoff would be like a Street Gang Recruiter to draw a card, and then obviously pinging with CAD. Bounty Hunters, I get a payoff with the Bounty Guild Initiate, so that's pretty good. Now I have some guys that are Bounty Hunter and Underworld, so like the Ruthless Assassin is both. Toro is my big payoff for Bounty Hunter, and I have a fair amount of Bounty Hunters in here. Here's some more Underworlds. Again, this guy Django is both Underworld and Bounty Hunter, as is Dengar. This guy is an Underworld. And I have another payoff for Bounty Hunter with a Head Hunting. So that seems pretty decent. Another Bounty Hunter here. This guy is just generally good to like get rid of upgrades. We've got a Bounty Hunter with IG. This doesn't really have much going on, but it's a turn one play. Nothing really too exciting here either. A 3 cost 4/4 though, which is decent, but it does have a bounty on it, do 2 damage to a unit, which is not great, but he's well statted for 3 cost. These guys not really synergizing, but you know, they're not the worst in the world. Here's another Underworld, some mitigation. Another Underworld there, Underworld here. Again, not Wookiee Warrior, Fugitive Wookiee, not really synergizing, but he's a nice turn one play. An Underworld here. So some synergy there. McClunky, obviously a good card. Underworld synergy. Surprise Strike, not really comboing, but is a strong, you know, event that's situationally good. I think this Criminal Muscle is going to be really good here with the upgrades in play. This guy is an Underworld and Bounty Hunter, so again, he kind of helps me with both these strategies here that I'm using with Cad Bane. Resourceful Pursuers are Bounty Hunters. Cloud Rider is Underworld, and then I have a Swoop Down. As far as ships, I have the Fang. You saw that the Smuggler Starfighter and the Slaver's Freighter. Those are, and the Blackstone Starfighter. So I feel like I have enough ships to like maybe capitalize on that. This deck seems pretty cohesive to me. I'm gonna get pings all the time with Cad Bane. I'm gonna get some Bounty Hunter payoff, and it just like seems like it makes sense, and probably be the one I end up playing in the tournament. I think Fang's gonna blow people out. I think the Criminal Muscle is gonna blow people out. McClunky is a really good card in the format because if they play a bounty, you just McClunky the guy back and just kind of punish that. So I think this deck is gonna be pretty good. Getting some card draw in the late game with the Recruiter. I don't really see like big bombs though, so you know we'll see if maybe I'm just lacking in that department and if that causes me problems. But I should be able to like use Cad Bane to like kind of clear the board and get board control, prevent you know, use McClunky, use Disabling Fang to kind of clear off the bounties and the upgrades and stuff. Get some bounty hunters on board and then be able to head hunting to kind of clear them out. So it's kind of a board control mid-rangey type deck and seems like it could be good. Buddy, stop. What are you doing? I'm in the middle of my recording, buddy. Okay. So guys, we're gonna test these out and we're gonna get back to you. You know, definitely. Well, let's say it this way. Stay tuned for the Set 2 Sealed tournament that's gonna be coming up. We're gonna be recording that tomorrow, I think. So we'll get that out on the YouTube channel. You guys definitely tune into that one. It should be good. You know, entertaining and all that good stuff. And hopefully I can take it down. And I appreciate you guys watching. If you made it this far, you are my hero. And again, although we didn't pull any legendaries or showcases or anything like that, we are very fortunate and grateful that FFG hooked us up with this stuff, and we're excited to get started and play this tournament. So we will check you on the flip side. If you made it this far, you are my hero. Stopping the recording.